Okay, here's another question from Mike Smith. Fake news, crisis actors, are Hollywood actors and the music industry really Illuminati controlled? And if so, what media, movies, music, TV, etc. are high vibration? Okay, well, yes, the Hollywood, and now not all. Now all of this is, there's good guys in all of this, but yeah, Hollywood is really highly controlled by the Illuminati. Mainstream media, highly controlled. Governments, highly controlled. The money system, highly controlled. The education system, highly controlled. Really, you guys know I don't know a whole lot about other people that are talking, but I do know David Icke and David Wilcox. And both of those guys are really good about breaking down a lot of the activity that's happened over the years and is happening now. Is there a cover-up about aliens? Absolutely. Is there secret science that they've kept from us? Oh, absolutely. All of those things are true. And all of that really had to do with controlling the humans on the planet so that they could get down to the lowest vibrations of 3D. So on a bigger perspective, way outside of you, they were asked to do this so that humans could experience the really low vibrations of 3D. Now, 3D people is really, most everybody's in 4D now. There's a few holdovers in 3D and a few that are bouncing up to 5D and back down occasionally. So for the 3D people, they are hanging on for dear life because they want the lower vibrations of 3D game, okay? So they will hang on until the planet raises in vibration so far outside of the 3D range that they can't stay here anymore. So at that point, they will have had to either raise their vibrations in some way, shape, or form, or they will die and continue their 3D or whatever play they want to somewhere else. Now, as we raise our vibrations, depending upon what timeline you're on and whether or not you want to stay in 4D, these bad guys there are going to be some that opt for raising their vibrations. So don't be surprised if a lot of these bad guys admit to their him or hers bad deeds and basically ask for forgiveness or pardoning, or if they help stop whatever it is that's going on, do they get clemency for that? I would encourage all of you that are listening to me that you need to give them that clemency, because these are the guys that, on a bigger picture, they did what they were asked. They controlled humans so that they could be in despair, in anger and hatred, which are very low vibratory states. And now they've opted, if they've said, I'm sorry, I give up, even if they're cornered, they're going to know at a certain level that they're going to have to change their vibrations or they're going to die, and they don't want to give up their power, but they don't want to die either. And so they might opt for there's going to be ones that opt for the raising their vibrations, and it behooves you guys to forgive them in order to stand the vibrations that are increasing to go to 5D. It will be in your best interest to forgive them and understand where it's coming from and why. That doesn't mean that I'm okay with anything that they're doing. Certainly, the whole I'm with everybody else. Even if you've listened to your videos, I'm kind of knee-jerky when it comes to messing with the little kids, and the things that they've done to little kids are pretty horrendous. So I get the horror. I get that whenever it comes out, when WikiLeaks puts it out there, it's really hard to believe. But yeah, it's all very true. And if you look at it from really an objective point of view, it's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, look how far we've come in 20 years over computers. When I was, let's see, I'm 57. When I was 18, which was 40 years ago, 40 years ago, 40 years ago, computers were in giant buildings and rooms. And now they're teeny tiny. And that was in 40 years. But somehow, we're still using the combustion engine on cars. Now, that doesn't even make any sense. So, reasonably, you know, you look at that and you go, well, yeah, something's got to be going on. And, of course, now you can go out and you can see where these guys have actually openly said what the plans were. That there are a handful of them. All the companies have been taken down to, what, 150 companies owned by a handful of families. I mean, the data is out there. Certainly, if you'd like to get in deep in the data, I'm sure there are way more than the two. But I do know that David Icke has had a knowing since he had a spiritual awakening long time ago. And he's been talking about this stuff for decades upon decades, and he's been made fun of the whole time, but he just kept on doing it. I mean, hats off to you, David Icke. And David Wilcock is like this major heavy-duty reporter person, and his books, if you like data about what they've kept from us, then, you know, he's got all kinds of data that's backed up by all kinds of hard data that you can look up. So his stuff is all verified and verified and verified. So it's very interesting. But I do caution you that these guys, especially David Icke came to and had that awakening so that he could open people's eyes up to the controls that were in place and how we are, from a human standpoint, very much like slaves. All of us operate in a slave type situation. And then, of course, there's the reptilians and all of them on that vibratory level that are kind of running the Illuminati people. And they are using the Illuminati people to, and kind of giving them a helping hand there, so that to keep control, because it keeps us in fear and despair. And that level of aliens, they kind of live on that energy. So we are like the Matrix showed, we're kind of batteries to them. But they can only eat certain vibrations of energy. So if you're happy, then that does them no good. They need you to be angry and in despair and worried and very, very negatively competitive. They need all those kind of vibrations to feed off of you. So that's why they put the Illuminati in power. And then, of course, the Illuminati, New World Order, Deep State, whatever you want to call them. Well, those guys, they got power through money and control. So they also feed off of you via money and being control over you. So both layers got what they wanted. On a higher level, we, all of us that are here, we ask, or especially long-term humans, we ask for them to come and play those roles so that that fear could be induced in despair, so that the humans could experience the super low vibrations of 3D. Okay? So, does that answer that? They also, but the Illuminati and anybody that's really on a higher level of that, they're not doing so well. They're not looking well. They're not doing so well because anyway, in my timelines, the Earth's vibration is raising. So is mine. So is people in general. So once it gets outside of their realm, they'll have to make a choice. Either they're going to stay at those low vibrations, or they're going to, if they stay on those low vibrations, then they're going to have to die. And the only other option is to raise their vibrations. And that means stopping doing what they're doing. Yeah. Of course, a lot of those really, really high ones, they've been cloned many times too. And that cloning procedure frequently involves the sacrifice of virginal children. But there's another group that also does it with machines that does not require that. So they're all not in one group. There are many groups involved in this, and there's a lot of fussing going on right now because the vibrations are raising and they're all kind of in a panic. So they'll like start doing anything they can do to create havoc so that people will be in fear, so their vibration will drop back down. So that's the reason why I say don't look to the right or the left. Just check on the news just to see where you're going, where you stand, where you need to go. But other than that, don't pay any attention to them, because when you do, you're giving energy to them, making them stronger. And when we raise the vibration, we don't want them stronger. We want them to either join us or just go ahead and split off of the planet and go to another planet where they can continue the game that they want to play. Okay, so that's the end of that. If you have any comments or questions, just write below or email me. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have if I can. Okay? Huge hugs, and I'll see y'all later. Bye now.